Good evening, YouTube. Lockdown workshop. Just as you think you're getting on top of it, then another one turns up. So I think this is going to have to be the last one until I clear the workshops and sort out the other workshop where we've got to get the floor sorted out, so I can start moving some of the heavy tools behind me up there so I can sell them, because it's just not getting done. So this bike, it's a Planet X, I think it's a Pro Carbon. Sorry, no, it's an now then, what is it? It's a Planet X, I think it's a Pro Carbon. No, it can't be because it hasn't got the through axle. Might be a Vitus. Don't know. It's whatever it is, it's the Evo version of it. It's been here before, exactly a year ago. It's for its annual service. Yeah, a bit of a funny one this one, not noticed it before. It's got a mismatch. It's got the Ultra 6800 group set, levers. Oh, hold on, don't know about the brakes. Good question. I think the brakes are 6800s. But it's got a Ultra 800 front derailleur, weirdly, which is good because the 6800 front derailleurs are awful. The arm's so far up that you can't actually pull it across easy, and you have to put so much force onto it. That's a lot better unit. But other than that, there's not much difference between the 6800 and the 6800 and the 8000. Nothing at all. I've given it a quick M check. But we're going to do it again anyway, because I'm going to do this one as a what I would do if somebody was just dropping a bike in for a service, because I don't think there's anything major wrong with this bike. I have found one thing, but I would class that as a serviceable item anyway. I think, as we've mentioned before, most of the bikes have sealed ball races. There's not a lot you can do with them. You can check them for play, but there's nothing you can do. So you're checking the headsets. Not got any slack in it, and that's a sealed cup and cone arrangement, especially on these wider ones. The front wheels on this and the back wheels are both sealed bearings, so there's nothing I can do with them other than on the M check there's no play. Now there's a little bit of play in this one, but I remember these back wheels do have a little bit of play in them anyway, so I'm going to see if I can dial that out. But I know it's not the bearings, because it did have a new set of bearings last year. If you remember, it sounded like an absolute pig. And you can hear that's running smooth as anything. The axle bearings were on their way out on one side, and the freewheel hub loose bearings are completely gone. Now the freewheel hub, that is a serviceable part. You can take that to pieces and you can re-grease it, but it's not something you do every single service. You do it when it sounds noisy, because they are fiddly and they are shimmed. So it is not, you're not supposed to service them, you're supposed to replace them, but you can take them to pieces and service them if you know what you're doing. And you've got a micrometer and you've got some spare shims, which I have got some spare shims, so I can do that one. That one doesn't need doing because, as you can hear, I'm not getting anything. If I was turning the wheel and it was graunchy, it'd be the back axle. If it was graunchy when it was freewheeling and you heard the noise, and I can't feel anything through my fingertips, there's nothing wrong with that bearing at all, so that one's fine. But we'll go through the rest of the bike anyway. I think I'll show you what I found that is wrong with it, and we'll fix that. We will clean up the drivetrain, just degrease it, make sure everything's running smoothly, reset everything back up again, and that's it. There's not really a lot to do on this. It just depends when I show you what's wrong with it, how long it takes to fix that and what it needs, but it could be quite an easy one, this one. So let's get started. Are we back? Right, so the first thing we'll do, I might as well bring you over here for this one. I have to get into the habit of just being a bit more professional and shutting you off when we do this. Let me see if I can just get you to focus on the bit I need you to focus on. First thing we'll do is we'll just check the chain and make sure the chain's okay. Shouldn't be a problem, it was replaced last year, so that's good. It's not dropping down on the one so it's and it's not dropping down on the 0.7. I'm giving it a wriggle, just make sure, try it in a few other spots, but it's not, you can see it's not close. So I think we're all right on that. At least another year out of that one, so fine with that. If you remember the one we did the other day, I could actually slide it backwards and forwards. It was so far out. Not only did it drop through, it was actually, I was having to lip it over to get it in. It was so far done. Ooh, right, hopefully you can see this. So M-check, just in case you don't know, an M-check means it follows the shape of the frame, and you do it in the shape of an M and you can't miss anything out. So front wheel bearings, no buckles, front brake's good, probably a little bit over adjusted if anything, but that feels fine. Steering smooth, front brake on, no head play. So a Planitex that's turned up at the workshop without any head play in it, probably because I did it last time. So I'm just working down to the bottom bracket now. All I'm doing is just feeling if there's any play, and then I'm going to put my ear on it, and I can't hear any noise from the bearing. All I can hear is the freewheel hub. Just check the pedals are running smoothly. Now these are look pedals, so there is always a small amount of play in look pedals for some reason. That's fine, they feel great, nothing wrong with them, so that's good. Quick visual inspection of the chainring itself, just make sure it's not buckled, so I'm just looking for wavering in it. That looks fine, no problems there at all. Saddle's fastened in properly, it's not rocking or anything, we're not got any wears there. Back brake's fine, again possibly a little over adjusted, that's a bit better. And then we're going down to the back wheel now. That's running true, no signs of eggs in the tyres or anything like that as well. Like I said, there is a little bit of play there and I'm going to try and dial that out. I might even chuck in another set of bearings, so I have got some bearings for it. Keep these in stock, and I might just chuck a set in anyway because they're less than a year old, so if that is the case then they are a problem. One thing to be careful with the back wheels is that what you're feeling isn't you pushing the rim against the brake pad, and that knock you feel isn't just hitting the brake pad, but it's not in this case. Cables are all they look good. That looks like it's had a little bit of damage on the outside there, but it doesn't look like it's gone through. Rest of it's internally routed, so I'll just give me fingers a quick run around these and just make sure we've got no problems. The adjusters look like they're all fine. Everything's looking good. Right, now for the functional testing of the gears. Right, so we'll do the front one first, which is always the hard one because I have to reach across here. It's not as easy to do. So it's in the bottom gear. All we're going to do is just knock it up. So if I pull the right lever, so I've been using that, just shows I've been doing SRAMs too long. Right, that's just gone straight up, trim, down, off completely. So up, down, half trim, all the way down, all the way off. So that's fine. It's nice and smooth. There's no indication we've got any problems there. It jumps straight up, it goes straight back down again, and it's got a full trim to the bottom. Now you might already be able to hear there's something going on the back wheel. Right, so let's see if we can find out what's going off with this. So you can hear it's jumping. Right, so that's indexed down a gear. That's indexed down a gear again. Right, that's sticking. It's not moving at all. Normally by this time it would have shifted. I'm going to go again. Now it's shifted now. So I've had to click it twice to get it to move down one gear. And again. And again. And again, it's not quite there because we're already off one index. Right, we should be on the bottom now. maybe the next one. Right, we should be on the bottom. We are all the way through, and we are not on the bottom. We're on gear number 10. So if I just give this a little nudge, there we go, we're in. So we're just going to go up now. Right, so I've gone up a gear there, and it hasn't moved. I'm going to go up, I've gone up 2 gears, and it's now jumped. It's finally jumped up 2 gears. Just index that one out of the way. Right, so we're on the bottom. I'm going to index up 1. Oh, it's gone, but it's not happy. It's gone, but it's not happy. It went eventually. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Oh. Yeah, that's riding. So I think we've possibly got 2 things going on here. It's either or it's both. When I did it yesterday, I got halfway down and it would not move. It didn't matter how many times I indexed it, it just stuck there, and I had to physically pull the derailleur over. So there's something going on with the cable that's dragging somewhere. But I do also think it's slightly not indexed right. Now I'm going to have to take, the indexing's almost by the by, because I've got to take the cable out to find out what's wrong with it, and that ruins the indexing anyway, so I've got to re-index it once I've taken the cable out. So, but yesterday it got down to there, and then it didn't matter how many times I pressed it, it won't go any lower. Now my bike that I use on the turbo, see, that's not going to the bottom again now. My bike I use on the turbo does exactly the same thing. It's fuzzed up, the cable's got too much drag in it, and it won't move, and when I first get on the bike it will not shift. Once I've shifted it a couple of times and I've got the cable running again, it's fine, it goes. And because it's the turbo bike, I can't be bothered to do anything with it, because it's the turbo bike. I think what I will do before we do anything else is I'm going to degrease this, because I don't know if you can see. Right, hopefully you can see now. That chain is absolutely filthy. It's not as bad as it could be, because you know the rule I generally say, if it's black and it's shiny, that's okay, but this is absolutely covered in grit and rubbish and all sorts. So I think the best thing we can do with this is run that through the chain cleaner and douse that back thing with as much degreaser as I can get on it as the first job, and then we will clean it, because otherwise I'm just going to end up covered in it. So the usual stuff. This is engine gunk. It is actually gunk. It's genuine gunk. So I've just got the neat stuff in here. I've not diluted it down. I'm just gonna get some of that over there. Get some around the derailleur. Wang a bit around there as well. I don't need to worry about it because it's not a disc braked bike. So we'll just properly douse it. And I will run the chain through the chain cleaner as well while I'm at it, and then we'll get a brush and have a good ratto on that. I don't know if you can just slide you across, and then you can see what I'm doing with this. This is my original ancient one that's been glued back together God knows how many times. Oh, yeah, it's not very well. That's it, we're going now. It's a bit temperamental. Been dropped on the floor that minute. I buy one and literally within an hour of me buying it I will knock it over or tread on it and it will break. Every single one. I must have had about 6 of these and I've broken every single one almost immediately. So I do need to buy another one of these, because this one is getting really worn out. This has lasted the longest of all of them. It was one of the early ones I bought, but I glued it back together when I broke it. It was just the top bit. So I could do with finding another one of these actually, because it does actually work quite well. Right, I think this is all we need to do with that. You see the way they work. There's a couple of levers in there. It scrubs the chain at the side, scrubs the chain in the middle, and the same up there. And that's full of gunk as well. So it's like a bath of it. And get a really shitty old cloth and just let it wash out. If it still looks bad when we come to put the bike back together, I'll see if I can pop the chain off and stick it in the parts washer. I'm just getting my fingers into the cogs just to try and get some of that grease off them as well on the jockey wheels. I suspect it's that sticky grease again, because I can feel a ridge on that jockey wheel. So I suspect somebody's been using winter lube again, even though I keep complaining to everybody about using winter lube. I don't normally try and clean the jockey wheels while the wheel's on, because you're like asking for trouble to get your fingers caught in it or grabbing the towel. But I just want to quickly do this. Normally I'd pop this off and then put the gadget in, the cleaning gadget, my favourite gadget. But I just want to try and get this to a state where I can start working on it without getting covered in muck. The little carbon fibre chain guard I made for Diane's holding up well, that was just some spare I had kicking around after a project. So I cut it into the shape of the thing and dropped it on the bike with a bit of heat on it. That's still don't know what this bike's called. Might just be a Planet X Pro Carbon Evo. It could be the second generation of the Pro Carbons, to be fair. So right, that's a lot better. The chain looks a bit better as well. I'll probably give it another go. I'll just get a brush and give the sorry, I'm walking in front of you again. That parts washer stinks. I'll use this brush on it. What we can do is we can drop this into the parts washer and give it a proper clean. It's just I don't like taking them off for the sake of it, because they have got fine threads and it's not always the best thing to do. What you can do is get it as clean as possible and then give it a quick blast with some carb cleaner or some petrol, and that gets the last of it off if you've got all the chunky stuff off like I'm doing now. So most of that's off now, and I'll show you what I mean. I think I've got some carb cleaner. Somebody's given me some carb cleaner. Car intake cleaner, there you go. So this is it's a really good solvent. See that, it's almost instant. You can use brake cleaner as well, that does the same thing. Yeah, that's all right there. Happy with that. Oh, it smells brilliant in here now. Right, so let's just wang this up and down the gears a few times. Yeah, so that's not moving at all. I've just indexed down and it didn't move straight away. That's only gone halfway down now. It's not gone all the way down. Yeah, I can feel it's really stiff, so we've definitely got a cable issue, which could mean we've got a stretch cable anyway, which is why the indexing's out. So let's tear into it. I'll show you how we do that. Oh, come on, focus. When you're ready, there we go. Right, so we're just going to pop this off. It's not a 5mm, it's a Shimano and it's not a 5mm. I stand corrected, this might be the 6800. I thought the 8000 had a cap that went over that, to be honest, but I could be wrong. Yeah, so we'll just pop that off there. We'll let it drop down on its own accord. Yep, look at that, straight down. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with the derailleur. That's fine. Its lower stops are almost right. It could do with moving a little bit that way, but we'll not get too excited about that. So the adjustment's slightly off. It is slightly that way, but that shouldn't have caused any problems. Let me just grab a screwdriver. I can't be bothered to go over there, so I'm going to use these tools instead. Now one of these is the high and one of them's the low. And I can never work out which one's which. And I can't read what it says because the light's really bad. Right, I think it's that top one. I'm pretty sure it's that top one. We'll find out in a minute if it moves. What am I doing? Just go and get the flipping screwdriver. Right. Sorry, I am conscious I'm stood in your way. I'll bring you round here, but it's not, the light's not that good anyway. Oh, it's gone a bit too far now. No, I was doing the right one. Right, that's bang on now. That's the worst screwdriver in the world for that. Right, so we are at the bottom. Another cloth on this. Right, I think that looks a bit better anyway. Right, so back to the challenge in hand. So we're pretty sure that the problem lies in here. So this is how we prove it. If we can get that out of there. I mean, that looks a little bit kinked and corroded there. No, that's not going to come out. Let me just don't really want to nip this off, but I think we're going to have to. Unless I can get it off in there. That's it. Right, so you can see that bit there is a little bit bent. So what we're going to do first, we're just going to take them off so we don't lose them. We can stick them back in there because I have a really bad track record for losing that spring. Just be careful when you put these in. They are so easy to cross thread when you are because you have to push them against the spring. That's it, we're in. So always wind it in and then turn it out a couple of notches so you've got some play. So that was the damage on the sheathing I was on about. It looks like the bike's gone down, or it's had a scuff and the sheathing is damaged, but it doesn't look like it's gone all the way through, because that would indicate that we've had some water ingress into the cable. The way to test it is for me to hold on to that and then me to try and pull it back out when I take it down a gear. So I'm going to take it up all the way, right, and then I'm going to take it down a gear. Right, I'm going to take it down all the way. Yeah, that's solid. Right, so let's get this bit off now and see if the problem's in this bit. Right, I'm seeing some corrosion there already, and it feels gummy. There's definitely some corrosion there. There's some corrosion there. We've got a bit of a kink in it there as well, which won't be helping. Now it could be that's full of muck too. Right, so now we'll move the investigation further. Right, so I'm pulling on that. I'm having to pull that really very hard. Right, right, let's take you to the other end. Right, we're at the other end of the cable now. So this is the adjuster on this side, so just follow it round. Sorry, the brake cleaner's getting right in my throat. So we're just going to pull this out of here now, and we're going to find out now whether it's stiff in the frame or whether it's stiff in the tubing. Oh, that's interesting. That's stiff in the tubing. Right, that's smooth in there. So if I right, that feels like butter. It's a little bit gummy, but they always are a little bit gummy, but that's feeling a lot less pressure. So the plot thickens. The problem's between here and where it comes out at the bottom. Focus over there. Now there is one other place, so let me bring. Right, so the problem could be in here. So let's just finish off with that one. See if I can feed this cable through. Right, so now I've got this cable through. I can feel there's no drag between when it comes out near the back axle and there. But what have I got when I get up here? Alright, so I'm not feeling any drag there either, which is now weird. So have we just, all we've done just broken the problem? Oh no, we've got the problem. The problem isn't down here. The problem does appear to be at the top. Let's just actually, I don't know, that is stiff. I wonder whether that's got worn. Or we've just got muck. See, this is the problem, that this bit here is exposed. And it could be we've just picked up some muck. See, that's nice there. There's some corrosion on there as well. Well, that's moving okay, but as soon as you put it in the channel and try to move it, then that is tight. That's grabbing. So that feels like it's cut into this somewhere, or there's something in there that's not routed right. Ah, the plot thickens. I'm wondering whether that has... Let's try and clean that up a bit and get a light on it. Light, light, light. So it could be it's just the cable's bound in the plastic in the past, and it does look like we've got a bit of corrosion in there. It doesn't look like there's any issues there, but it does look like it's worn in the channel. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see there's a lot of marking in there? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can find something to just try and clean that out. And we might have to put a bit of grease. I don't want to put grease on it, because the problem is you put grease on it, when the muck gets in there, because this is an exposed part of the bike, it kind of acts like a cutting paste, and that's quite possibly what could have happened. This piece down here could have been, it's been cut through, and it's actually snagging the cable now. So I'm going to have a look at that. Right, I have cleaned it out. I've rubbed it down. It does look like something sticky has slid down here. Maybe it's come out of the water bottle. So I'm wondering whether something's got in there. So what I will do, I don't like to do this, but if you're going to do anything, this is the stuff to do. So this is dry lube. This is PTFE spray. So it's not a wet lube. It dries. We'll see how that goes. I am thinking that we might change the cable though. The cable does not feel very good. Let me just drop it back down again and get you out of the way. I'm going to go and invest. I think we found our culprit. This is very stiff in there. And it's all gummed up. It feels like that sticky oil. So I'm wondering whether somebody's put some of that sticky oil in there, which is a bit of a nightmare if they have, because it's a strip down of the levers itself. So what I'm going to try and do is try and flush it out. Oh, you can see it's all just pouring out. I don't know if you can see that. It's just literally just black pouring out of there. There's actually an access hatch on the other side as well. Let's see if we can wank them in there. Yeah, I can sit there. Right. Let's see if I can get some of this to go back down the tube again. Right, that's starting to move a little better. So what we'll do is I'll pull it as far as I dare pull it, which is probably about there, to be honest. I'm going to clean this off. I think we're looking at a new cable. I think the cable's impregnated with it as well now, so it might be worth sticking a new cable on. In fact, yeah, what am I peeing about that? Let's just clip it and stick a new one on. What we will do though is we will clip it there, and then I can use that to try and feed the other cable down when we get to the other end. But in the meantime, what I will do is I will try and wang this about and get a bit more. cable out of the way now. Right, I think we're not going to get that any cleaner. Well, I can actually see it's grey again now. The only other thing I've got to do is try and get it down there. Oh yeah, it's working. There's a very little jet where the inner of the cable goes. Oh, that's it, look at that. I don't know if you saw that. So watch that bit down there, the bottom of that cable. Can you see it? I don't know if you saw it where you were before. Let's have a watch of this. Did it come out then? Yeah. Lovely. It's good I've not got the right, I think that's all I dare do with that, to be honest. Get the frame a quick wipe down. That's one thing, it's good to get all the grease off the frame. That's the first time I've ever had to do that. I know these can get a bit gummed up, but it's the first time I've ever had to use carb cleaner. I could have used brake cleaner on it, but I'll show you. So this bit round here, that bit there, come on focus, that bit there was black and it's now grey again, so you can see it. So I think we're just looking at a new cable now, so let's wind you back. Everybody knows I love doing these cables on these. Gear cable. My favourite pastime. Oh, we've got some ends. Woohoo! So these are polished stainless steel. I do rather like them. So this one has to go up through there. Much easier to do than the SRAM ones that are an absolute ball ache. So you feed this through, there's a little flap on the other side, which you'll have seen when I put it round, and then when you feed it through this side, you just fold it through, and all you do is just hold it down and it clicks into the retainer. So as long as it disappears up there, sometimes you have to give it a little bit of a nudge. There we go. And that's it, and then you can just check that it has engaged. Yep, that's fine. And that's actually running quite smoothly now. And then once you've done that, then that little hole, I've just been squirting the juice down. We're going to feed this down there. And that's just so much easier, because on the SRAM one, you can't see that little hole, and you just have to keep banging away until it drops into the hole. There's probably a lesson in life there. But 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter how hard or how often you keep banging it, you're always missing the hole. Whereas this has got like a little maintenance access flap over the top of it. So if you've got good access to your flaps, it's easy to hit the hole. I can't keep a straight face. I tried. Right, so that should be a happy bunny now. So we can clip that back in. So I'm just putting the flaps back. Now we've entered the hole. Oh. I'll just get that carb cleaner off the bottom of that rubber, because I think carb cleaner's not brilliant for rubber. So carb cleaner it must be good for rubber, because otherwise you won't be able to use it on carburetors that are absolutely packed full of rubber. Right, so let's have a quick test of this now. Right. Oh, that's perfect, that's just going straight through now. So all I've got to do now is get this from here down to there, which is the challenging bit. Question is, can I get one of my... Oh, they've gone. I've lost it. Oh, there's a bit of it. So we use some of this, and I'll see if I can send it down the line. The trouble is this: I dropped this on the floor the other day and didn't realise, and proceeded to tread all over it. So it's got kinks in it now, which means it's not going to flow down this particularly well. But we'll see. We'll see how far we get. Oh, it just seems to be doing okay. So the trick is I'm going to have to rock this one back up again now and keep an eye out for it down there. So I don't think you'll be able to see that, but hey ho, we might be able to get you down. Now sometimes you can drop lucky and actually get the blue to come all the way through. I'm not going to be lucky. So I can get it. Oh, we've got it. Well, we've got it back up there anyway. So that's right. We might have to do a bit of jiggery poker here. What I don't want to do is, because what you'll see is this is. It's proper annoying that it. Sometimes you drop lucky and you can get it through the hole, but I think I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to undo the other derailleur and get that one off as well. And I can guarantee that this won't, so I'm going to have to re-index this one as well, because it's just fun. Because that's helpful. Alright, we'll have that one, that one, and that one. Trying to avoid going in the a la carte. Right. So I should be able to get some slack on both of these now, so I can get this bottom plate out. So this is the access plate. And of course it won't fit this one, it'll need another one, which I haven't brought with me. So hopefully it's one of these two. Or it's be another one that I haven't brought with me. That'll be this one. Now, so we're just going to shift that out of the way and put that somewhere safe where I don't lose it, and then we're going to see if we can just fish that down there now. There we go. Now that's just made my life a whole lot easier, because what I can do now is I can just feed the new cable in at the top, and I haven't got to go fishy fishy. We haven't got to play fishy fishy. So I can hold on to that, and we can pull that out, and we leave that where it is, and we shove it in the top. Past the kink. And if we pull that out, oh, I don't believe I've done that. After all that, I've pulled the bit out of there that I wanted to fish through next. Never mind, I think I'd already pulled it through too far anyway. Alright, so when I slide this out now, there we go, cable, and that's how you do it. Hope you saw all that, because it was magnificent. So now we're going to do the same thing again. We've got to get it down to the bottom piece, the bit I've just screwed up. So we're going to we might have to I think we're going to have to take that one out as well. It's an even smaller one. I just love Planet X. It's the Eco TG one. So there's a access hole for another one, and of course it's the one where my Allen key is not the best. I do need a new set of Allen keys. I am on a promise. When I move the workshop, I'm gonna, all the knackered tools are going to get replaced. Right, you need to be careful with this because you have to pop them out, but you don't want to lose the screw. There you go. Safe and sound. So just in case you're wondering, that's what it looks like. And we'll do the same again. We're just going to shove that down there and hope for the best that it turns up somewhere at the bottom. There we go. There is actually a gadget made for this. It's called a fishing loop, and it's like a piece of very thin flexible wire in a loop, and you drop it in and then that goes through it and you just pull it out and it like lassos it, but you can use a normal pick if you want. So we're just going to go picky in there and hope for the best. Or maybe not, because it's just fighting me. There we go. So same thing again now, we just feed this through here. And it appears at the bottom. Don't pull it all the way through, because we've still got to get this bit back on. If I can remember which one of these many thousands of them it is, it's this one. So I'm just going to have a quick look at this now I've got it all off. Yeah, it does look like it has started to cut into it, but it's got some Teflon spray on it now, so it should be alright. And it's got some fresh cable that hasn't got all the crap in it. I don't even know if I'm putting that in the right way up. Find out in a minute, because it won't fit. Yep, I think it won't fit. Let me take the screw out, that might help. Let's try it that way around. That might work better. Yeah, that fits. Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to put a bit of copper grease on that, because this is a titanium or stainless steel screw and that's going into steel. You can see it's rusted, and what we don't want is for that to get stuck. So we'll just wang a bit of copper slip on there so it stops the galvanic interference of the dissimilar metals. God, that's a big word for a Friday, isn't it? Just wang it in and out, make sure we get right into the threads. That's it. Don't want to over tighten it, it's not going to come out. That's it, that one's tight. That's back in. Just check the chop ones in its correct hole where it should be. It is. Pull that tight. One last check before we go any further. It does feel like it's going in and out as it should. So, don't forget to put this back in first. It's the worst thing with putting the cables in, it's remembering to put everything back in the right order, because you get it all buttoned up and you realise you're missing a collar, or you've threaded something through something and you've got to pull it all the way back out again. Nope, not that one. It was the Ickle Town. No, it was that one. I think it was that one. There we go. Let's see what this feels like in here now. That feels okay. So there's probably loads of people that'll have a go at me on the comments about shoving brake cleaner or carb cleaner in that thing. Trust me, it was dead. It wasn't going anywhere. I do possess this strip down tool. So there is a special tool, he says. You can't find it, there it is. There you go, that is the special Shimano strip down tool that you use to strip down the levers. I have done it once. Let's just say I ain't doing it again unless I have to. It's not something you do for fun on a Friday afternoon. The instructions on how to do it, unlike everything else on Shimano, are scarce to say the least. And as soon as you pop it apart, bits start falling out all over the place. And you've got no idea where they came from. So all I would say is, if you're going to do it, make sure you've got the money to buy another set of levers, because I would hazard a guess that that is what you're going to have to do. Right, let me just check this, because I think this is just a straightforward one. I don't think this is anything fancy on this one. There's a little mark there that tells me I'm supposed to bring the cable in there. So we will do as I am told, and I'll just check that it doesn't come round, because sometimes, unless you can actually see it, has it got an exit or does it go all the way round? Do you know what, I can't see. No, it's got an exit. So it's got an entry and an exit. On the old ones they used to have to wrap them round, but that was just ridiculous. I just want to make sure that we are indexed all the way down before we go any further. That was it. Right, moment of truth. It's probably going to need adjusting. I have to be careful because that's hanging off. Right, so we are moving. Right, so it needs some adjustment. Right, so there's a little bit of slack there that we need to take up. Well, that's better already. No, we're still slightly out. There's still a little bit too much play on that. That's better. That's crisp. Oh yes. Oh, that's good. Oh, the gear doctor's back in town. Look at that. Ah, right, we're not coming back down again. I think we need to go slightly in. Send it in one more notch. Oops. I think we've cracked that one. Right, I think they're good. Let's just go and tackle the front one now. Which log was it? Right, We've had enough of you rattling around there. Oh, I'm stood in your way, aren't I? Right, I'm going to tread on my blue cable as well again. I have to just leave this in the cable box, which is where I'll wager the other one is. Oh yeah, there it is. The one that's not all chewed up and manky. The one that I could have done easily. I can never remember how these go. That goes in there like that. Pretty sure that goes like that. And then it just loops back on itself. And that bit disappears up there and in there like that, or something like that. Of course it wasn't wound in, was it, when I popped it off? It was up on its half notch. So we've got to move it all over again now. Try again. You to wonder whether I've done something wrong here, because this is not wanting to play ball at all. Yeah, that's completely loose. Starting to go Shimano. I missing something here? I suspect I know what it is. I think it's eating its sleeve. Come on, get off. Right. So there is a sleeve over the top of this. I suspect it's eating it. I think it is. Something definitely not right going on here. They're in the right way round. Cracked it. Right, one or two things. The sheathing that comes out the bottom bracket had slipped up. I've seated that back down. And there's another channel on the other side of there that needed to be routed in. There's also an adjuster screw that I've forgotten about there, which I've slackened off, which I can now adjust back out again to take a bit more of the tension for that. So yeah, so hopefully that should be a little bit better now. So that's all the way up, half indexed, down, bottom. So let's just check we've got no drag there. So we should start to catch now. Don't matter if we do because we're too far low anyway. Might get it on the big ring. Actually, we're not dragging there either, so that's pretty good. That's even before we've not half indexed it. So that's okay. Job's a good one. Right, let's drop that one down so I can put that in there. Tuck that away where it's supposed to be. There we go. we'll take that. That looks good to me. One last thing to do. Got a quick clip. In. Could this put in the proper Shimano one on there? Way too big. I much prefer mine. See, I've got gear ones that will fit on a brake cable, whereas these are brake ones that are really sloppy on a gear cable. Don't crimp very easily as well. Right, so we'll just tuck that out of the way. Just check it's not going to get in there. Yep, that's good. Straight up, straight back down again. Right, that was a bit of a battle, more than what it should have been. Just clean that chain up a bit. That looks alright, doesn't it? Right, I think that's all we need to do with that one. There's nothing wrong with that. Good to go. So as you can see, with all of that, I've not had to break out the grease at all. Everything was fine on it. It just wanted an inspection. I'm going to have a quick look at the back wheel and just see if we can adjust those bearings a bit. But they are, to be honest, they are fine. Just take it down. Oh dear. Right, I'll go meet you at the workbench. Are we recording? I think so. Battery looks good. Yep. I don't know why it stopped recording. Right, need some. Probably better grab one of them as well. Alright, just got a pile of Allen keys for this. We've just got to pop one of these out, so one of these will be a 5 and one of them will be a 4. None of them are a 5. Is that a 6? That might be because that's a 6. I was right, it was a 5. So we'll shove that in there. And we want to shove that in there. That's a 5. Oh. Okay, let's just go and find the 5. Nope. Yes. Right. Now I can't remember. Don't want to get stuck in there. I can't remember whether these have got an Irish thread on them or not. We'll find out in a minute now. So it's just 2 Allen key bolts in either end of the cups. And you unscrew them and it comes out. And there is an allowable amount of adjustment somewhere, so that comes off there. And then I think what you do then is you put a smaller one in here. And you put another 5 in there. That's it, another 5 in that one. And then you do the same again, but this one might be the other way round. Nope. And then that one comes out, and then you should be able to remove the centre. Or do we have to put another? I have to put a bigger one in, I think. Yep, that's it. I can't remember how these come out. Oh no, they don't. Right, no, they don't. They don't. They sit on the bearing. So that bearing feels fine. And then the other end of it sits behind that bearing. And that feels fine as well. So, like, weirdly, I can't feel any. Oh, I can feel a little bit of side to side on it. Right, so that suggests that one of these bearings isn't pressed in as hard as it should be, or it's got some muck behind it. So we will just get a hold of that. And that, and we'll give it some welly. Now we can't do that to that one in there because the freewheel's in the way. But let's just see if we've lost the... No, it's still got play in it. So it could be that bearing behind there. Right, let's get that off then. I didn't want to have to take this off, but we knew we were going to have to. You know, when I start off then conversations about this is going to be a really easy one tonight, and we'll just get this done and it won't be an issue at all. It's going to be one of those nights tonight. There we go, found that. Where's the whippersnapper? Snapper. Got the big one. No. Right, there's only one place that's going, in the parts washer. Dirty, dirty thing. I'll leave that to stew in there. Right, let's have a look at this one. That's the freewheel we replaced last time. It actually feels a lot better now. There's still a little bit of play there. I think we'll just give it another. I've got to be careful, I don't want to hit it on that side. So let me see if I can find another socket for this. Nope. That'll do. Right, I think that feels a lot better. We won't know until we get this in. That does feel a lot better. So if you remember, this was the one that the bearing failed on this side, and they've upgraded the it's all coming back to me now. They upgraded the seal on it. That's fine. Coolio. Oh, we are recording. Right, let's give this another quick waz in here. What we do need to do is just wind that up a bit so it's in the middle, it's not pulling stupidly across the chains. I don't even know if it's got any liquid left in it. Oh, it has, yeah. That looks a little bit cleaner. I think we're getting there with it. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Right, so while we're in here now, I can properly get my fingers in and clean these gear wheels off, which you wouldn't normally be able to do with the wheel there. I'd have to be reaching round it, and I can get the actual derailleur itself a good wipe off. Oh, yeah, there's a proper ridge of it built up on that one. I know, I'm cleaning bikes again. Right, let's move that back down. Take that off. Job's a good one. Best gadget in the world. Yay! I don't even know where the plug is for this. This is desperate for a clean out. Oh, these are properly... Come on, find a decent tool. I don't know where it's gone actually. Oh, a toothbrush. Can you see all this? Because it's not like we haven't seen enough of these already. We must have done about, oh, a good 30. Let's wash a derailleur. For some reason though, I can't find the iron rust there. I can see it. I could get some brush. Just have to get my hands in. At least it's not as cold as it was the other day. You can see this is all coming off nicely now. like I said, a normal bike shop wouldn't do this, but it's something I end up doing a lot. You look at them and you can just see that they're, and you know, and I've put car cleaner on this, and I've cleaned it twice with a brush, and I'm still getting crap off it. It doesn't have to got crap over the ends as well, which boom, back in the room. Stick that back in there, shall we? I don't know if it's off Di's bike. I've just found an end cap on the side that's fell out of one of the boxes. It's exactly the same as the one that's missing out of Diane's thing. So I was just trying to work out whether there's the other one. That needs to go back in for a charge. Right, let's put this wheel back together. Hope you can see this. And here's some red grease I had earlier. This is a tube of special rubber proof brake grease that I had spare from a job that I found on the floor, which is almost the same as the normal red grease. So that's my cup of tea left from the other day. Let's get this on. Come on, where are you, big one? You big yin. Oh, there we go. That's it. Next one. I've done it again, haven't I? Every time I put it on, I find the big one, and then I go. Every time I go and spin it. Right, don't spin it. You muppet. Big one, right into the outside. I don't want to do what I did last time when I had two gears together because I forgot to put the space in. Not right yet, you can see the writing. That goes on there. That's the next one. Where's the big bit? That's the big bit. Another one. Turn it over. Where's the big bit? There's the big bit. Right, where's the big bit? There's the big bit. There's the big bit. That's it. That looks good. Right, where's the... As always, don't rely on your freewheel to support this. Always use the chain whip, because the new freewheel hub is anything from £40 to 200 quid, depending on which one it is you've got. And I can tell you that this one is £42, and I got it cheap. So again, 40 psi, Newton meters, or if you're in Germany, good and tight. Never gets old, that one. It's not olden, it's golden. Look at that, it's brand new. That's it. Wink. This is where I swear a lot, which I do anyway, but I'll just skip over that fact. Oh, we can just keep going forever. I don't know what it was bound up on the first time. Just goes to show though. Right. Right. Brakes an absolute mile off. Well, they won't be when I've done that. As usual, let's just drop it onto the floor, make sure it's in right. Oh, did you see that? That jumped a good couple of mil on that side. I'm just checking the brakes now, see if if it's pushing the rims unevenly. They're pretty good actually, them. Well done, Di. Get that back over there. Pretty good. Hey, stick it back in there. Let's have a quick look at her. She's pretty. Oh, what's about? Wow, look at that compared to what it did look like. Yeah, I think we're all good. Should we go and get the stool? Is it time for the stool? I think it is. So, what have we learnt today? Whatever you do, don't say the jobs are going to be easy, because it turned out to be a bit of a pig. I do like those with the gears, because everybody thinks, oh, it's simple, it's so easy to do, and it's not. It's just detective work. And actually, as it turned out, there was a problem with the indexing. There was a problem with it snagging under the bottom bracket, and there was a problem with it in the derailleur up there, and the cable was heavily corroded. So all those several things together were contributing to a sticky shift. So whenever you get uneven shifting at the top and the bottom, or sluggish down, it's nearly always the cable. If it's just inconsistently moving up and down all the way at the same amount, it's normally the indexing. But I think we fixed it. I am still a bit concerned about the bottom bracket, where it looks like it's been chewing into the plastic, but I think that is what it is with the frame design on these. There's not a lot you can do about it. I mean, you could put a piece of gaffer tape over it, but I suspect the frame free drains out of there as well. If there's any water gets in the frame, it drains out the bottom, because they used to have problems with the frames filling up with water, and you'd end up carrying about 2 or 3 litres, so that's 2 or 3 kilos of water in your frame. And I've had it on one of my bikes where the drain hole at the bottom was blocked up, and the spray had been coming up and hitting a construction hole at the back of there, and it was just running down the tube, and it was literally full up to there, all the way through the whole bike. So I don't think there's a lot we can do about that, but no, she's good. We've had another look at this, and oh, that's spot on now. That's perfect. I think we fixed that. Just wanted the bearing seating. I think the bearing must have it must have moved at some point, so that seems to be great. It's running good. I mean, when I put my ear on it, I can't hear any bearing noise at all. So the bearings are spot on. I don't think we put ceramics in this one, but it did have a new freewheel. I think the old freewheel's still kicking out of here somewhere. So I can show you what they look like. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? Anyway. We'd replaced the freewheel last time, replaced the bearings last time. So all it's had is a £7.50 rear gear cable. So I think we're good. We had a bit of a faff at the front, but that was my own fault for not paying attention to how those were routed. To be honest, I've only ever done 2 or 3 of those, And the routing is that they've tried to tidy it up because it was a bit of a mess before, and I am considering buying one of these for mine because they do shift a lot better, so I'll probably buy one of those and sell the old one off. I might have a whole 800 group set for sale actually, so we'll have to have a look at that. But I don't want to touch anything else now. This is no more bikes now until we've cleared this into the other workshop. So the other floor needs to go down in the other workshop because I can't bring any of this big machinery up there and drag it around and try and do a demo because it's just too uneven. I need it on a solid surface. If somebody's going to come around and pay £1,000 for a piece of machinery, they're going to want to see it running properly and not wobbling all over the place and looking like a right basket case. Anyway, right, that one can go. I hope it's been useful. Watching my ham-fistering today, I was a bit useless. It's supposed to be a show you what you actually need to do for the service, and it turned out to be another flipping gear indexing puzzle. Let's go find out what's wrong with it. I'm pleased we got that clean because that was in a great state. I know I don't normally clean bikes, but I couldn't send that back like that. And the chain's fine, so I think we're good.